Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's Emmy the Cat Lady here, and you find me here in the Commonwealth. So we are looking at another vault today. So today I thought we'd take a look at Vault 95, which is an interesting one. It's another one of these vaults where the premise sounds like a good thing, but it's really not. So Vault 95 is here. We're quite far down south, so it's right on the edge of the glowing sea, and quite near Gunners Plaza, so it's as well as just being next to Somerville Place, which is a settlement that you can have, and Waypoint Echo if you're doing stuff for the Brotherhood. So right down here, so kind of a dangerous location. And yeah, so I've turned combat AI off, so these guys are just like he's just gonna walk up to me. But so when you come here for the first time, or if you come back after clearing it out and you come back a little while later, you can see, oh, that's a mannequin, that the gunners have taken it. Oh, there's another Assaultron. So there's turrets, there's gunners and gunner robots everywhere, so, and mannequins as well, to make it look like there's more people than there actually is, which is interesting. Okay, why can you not climb up that? But yeah, and I say if you look at the Vault Dweller Survival Guide for Fallout 4, it does say that when the gunners took over, there were still people living in the vault for some reason. Sugar bombs, corn, and a test tube. I have no idea what you were planning to do with all of that, sir, but fair enough. But yeah, handy that there's a cooking station at the top here. So the gunners have come in and taken over this vault, which kind of makes sense. They like to take over kind of strategic locations, and vaults are generally, you know, they're quite defensible, and you know, they often have water and other kind of things that would come in useful for anyone. Oh, there's another gunner. We'll leave him be. So Vault 95, this vault, the experiment was basically centred around people with chem addiction. So I will say now, this is a potential trigger warning for anyone that has struggled with addiction. Addiction, people often think of it as a criminal thing and all the rest of it, but it's not. It's a symptom of a larger problem with all sorts of things, with society, with mental health and various reasons. So you know, to my mind, people with addiction shouldn't be treated as criminals. They should be treated as people that need care and need help. So that was the idea. So people that came into this vault were people that had addiction problems, and the rule was that they had to stick with the programme. So Vault-Tec had instigated a rehab programme in this vault, so the people in the vault would have to follow that programme in order to be allowed to stay in the vault. So that was the premise. This elevator is taking a long time. It's taking a... oh, there we go. Yeah, that felt like it was taking forever there. So that was the intention, was for these people to go through rehab and get treatment, basically, to get past their addiction problems, which was actually quite successful. Oh, there's a Mr. Gutsy. Not anymore, you're not. Right. So this would be, I guess, the security office. So you can see there is chems here now. Whether the gunners left them, I don't know. That does this terminal do? It's just turret control. Okay, not relevant to our conversation here. So let's head further into the vault. I say I've just turned the combat AI off. Although I can dispense with these guys pretty easily with my Sentinel's plasma caster. But yeah, there's skeletons with Jet. So obviously you would think, well, if they're supposed to be treating these people for addiction problems, why is there chems in this vault? Right, so research the facilities wing, we'll come back to that later. I'll come up here, so that's just the overseer's office, I think, is up here. This will be, yeah. So this is the overseer's office. Anyway, so this is the overseer's office, and we've got this nice circle of chairs. So obviously this would be where they have the group meetings, kind of like, you know, sort of AA meetings, that kind of thing. Sure thing. And unfortunately we've got a handful of skeletons wearing Vault 95 jumpsuits. You can't get a Vault 95 jumpsuit anywhere, by the way. It's not something. And then a teddy bear, so, you know, sorry pal, even teddy bears have problems sometimes. Lots of coffee, comfy pillows and couches and things, but what we're really interested in, so this is quite a nice thing to see, is your map of the vault. So you can see this was where we came in, and this is where we are now in the administration. Research over there, we'll go there last, and then the quarters. So not the biggest vault, and it was intended, I don't know if it says there, yeah, max capacity 72 dwellers, so there were only supposed to be enough room for 72 people, so not a big vault. Not a big vault by any means. And yeah, you get a bunch of kind of details about the manufacturing and stuff of it there. But yeah, let's have a look at the terminal. So the overseer, Jane Myers. So Vault 95 Overseer Manifest. The overseer of Vault 95 is an elected individual chosen to run the daily meetings and ensure the other residents adhere to the rules of the Vault-Tec rehabilitation programme. This is not to be considered a position of power, but rather a position of support and servitude. Infractions are to be dealt with using positive reinforcement and encouragement. The residents of Vault 95 are family and share the same path. The position of overseer should not prevent a resident from continuing their own personal journey. So, you know, on this, they're going through this rehab programme, which is mandatory to do, but the overseer isn't supposed to have power over the other residents. It's supposed to be, you know, support and encouragement and positive reinforcement. So, you know, hugs and kisses and kind words, and no, you know, punishments or anything for anyone that takes, you know, steps of it wrong, which is an interesting thing for Vault-Tec to be doing. Then an election will be held once a year on October 30th. Residents are encouraged to inform their decision based on awarded merit points as laid out in the programme guidelines. So, you know, fairly straightforward, and it all sounds really good, you know, that the overseer is here to support people and help them through this journey of, you know, rehab and coming off chems and dealing with their addictions and things, which is a very difficult thing to do. So, you know, all sounds good. So meeting notes, meeting date 23rd of October 2082, so this was 5 years after the bombs had fallen. Overseer facilitator Jane Myers. Format guided discussion topic, the usefulness of continued meetings. So, resident Michael has expressed his desire to reduce the amount of meetings. He believes chem dependence is no longer an issue. Resident Randall reminded the group that adherence to the programme was a condition of living in the vault. Resident Patricia wondered if Vault-Tec even existed anymore. Resident Randall reminded the group that we're all addicts. We may pick up unhealthy habits without the programme. I expressed agreement with Randall's sentiments. Issue was put to vote. Vote to continue. The programme was unanimous. So take note of this name, Randall. He is going to be important later when we find his terminal. And then you can lock the facilities wing from here if you really want to do that. So now we know for sure this was supposed to be a rehab program for people that suffered from chem addictions, and the condition was that they followed the rehab program that Vault-Tec set out for them to be allowed to stay in the vault. If we go in here, this seems to be a hairdressing salon. His cleanliness is godliness, according to Vault Boy, and yeah, so that's that little section. And then the facilities of research we'll come back to. Right, yeah, I'm afraid those grenades are not very well hidden, guys. So this is, yep, the residential section, which is not looking great, to be honest. There's a Jangles the Moon monkey in a wheelchair watching TV. There's a gunner. Right. Here we go. Here we go. So, user R Gutierrez. If you're not R Gutierrez, log off immediately. So this is Randall's terminal. Your orders. Your orders are as follows. Ensure all residents do not stray from the Vault-Tec rehabilitation programme. It is paramount that this is strictly followed for our research objectives. You will act as any other resident. Your backstory and identity should already be committed to memory and will not be recounted here. You are to work with the Overseer-elect on any compliance issues while ensuring ignorance of your special objectives. After 5 calendar years, your objective will shift. You will open the hidden storage compartment you were shown during your training. Allow the residents to discover the stash of chems within on their own. Once it has been discovered, you are to thoroughly document the response of the community. So there's the Vault-Tec that we know and loathe. So basically they planted this guy as a resident, but he had a job where 5 years after the vault was sealed, so it was plenty of time for all the residents to have worked through their withdrawal and got off chems. And then he was supposed to open this secret compartment that was full of chems and let the residents discover it and basically document whatever happened in the response to them finding this stash. So let's see his observation journal. Unfortunately, there is only one entry. 23rd of October 2082, so it was the same day as that meeting that we saw the notes of on the Overseer's terminal. So today marks the 5th calendar year since the residents of Vault 95 and I have moved into the vault. This will be my first entry. The Vault-Tec rehabilitation programme seems to have helped every subject in this vault deal with the symptoms of withdrawal and cope with a new life in the vault environment. That is not to say that withdrawal was not a challenging process for some subjects. Our hypothesis was correct. When there is simply no other alternative, an individual can recover. So this shows us that whatever the rehabilitation programme was that Vault-Tec has set out, and obviously given the people no other option but to follow this and to get clean, and it was actually successful. Unfortunately, today I will sneak out when all are asleep and open the stash of addictive substances that has lay hidden for the last 5 years. Isolation seems to have proved helpful when addictive stimuli are absent. Now to see what such stimuli do to the social order we have created over the previous years. There's a couple of typos in that, but anyway. So there we go. So this guy was a plant, he was working for Vault-Tec, and he was supposed to discover this stash of chems after 5 years, when everybody had managed to work through and get past their addictions. So pretty brutal, and as you can tell by the numerous skeletons wearing Vault jumpsuits, surrounded by coffee, jet, probably not a good combination, to be honest, the caffeine. That, yeah, unfortunately the outcome is not good, and a lot of people died. There's another one. Bathrooms. Yep, somebody died in the shower with some vodka. Bathroom here. Yep. Then somebody else has died with some psycho. There's stim packs. Buff out. Must have been quite the stash that they planted, to be honest. It's but this is it here, so just turn the light on so we can see. So yeah, just this little kind of hole in the wall that was dug out and then covered up with the wall. Somebody here. This may even have been Randall Gutierrez, we don't really know. Not a lot left. There's a couple of bits and pieces. I don't know why blood pack would be, that shouldn't really be an addictive chem. And some alcohol and things that's been left, but yeah. So unfortunately it was too much for most of the people that were around. You do find the big guns bobblehead in here, but I may have already collected it on this save file. That's a possibility. Yep, bring it on. Yep. Oh, floating goo pile, how about that? Okay. Sure. Yeah, so that's the door that's blocked off there. I was like, how on earth did people get into this room? But yeah, the door's been blocked off with storage crates. Makes sense. So, yep, another person's private terminal. This is J. Scott. Log 1. Fuck Vault-Tec. They said they were helping us. The vault was supposed to be safe, a place for rehabilitation. It was nothing but inevitable. It may have been the end of the world for most, but for we lost souls, it was a new beginning. I was grateful for the chance to start over. We all were. We've had our struggles the last 5 years, but the time spent here turned us to family. Any one of us would have been happy to play out the rest of our lives in here, and now this. So this person is giving us the details of exactly what happened. They knew what they were doing. They weren't trying to help us. I never thought I would see chems again. Why would I? But now here we are, with the whole lifetime's worth of the stuff laid out in front of us like a freaking department store window display, and it was there the whole time. Some cracked right away, grabbed what they could and ran off to get high. There was fighting. I hid. Nothing I could have done to help anyone. I'm still hearing gunshots. I'm not ready to give up what I had here. So basically, obviously nobody was expecting to see any kind of addictive substances again, and unfortunately for some people that was enough to trigger a relapse, and then things got violent. So this person just decided to kind of hide and stay away, which was probably the best option. I thought it was over the stuff. I thought if I ever saw it again, it wouldn't have power over me. I was wrong. It's taken every ounce of my willpower to stay here locked in my room. So at this point we can see that the stress of this whole situation and the fighting and everything is getting to them, and they want to, you know, it's kind of making them feel like they really want to kind of start taking stuff again. You know, it's really, really tempting them, and the cravings are really strong, which is understandable because oftentimes people get into taking these things as a way to cope with some kind of stress, which means that when they feel stressed, when they've tried to stop, it can really push them into a relapse, because that was their coping mechanism. An unhealthy coping mechanism, but it was a coping mechanism nonetheless. So yeah, it's pretty brutal. And then log 4, I can't take it anymore, no reason to stay sober, it's just as messed up down here as it is up there. I need something to help me cope. I don't care about the programme anymore. I don't care. I really don't. I'm going to go out and be with my friends. I hope somebody's left. So they have basically just decided to give up, and they're trying to convince themselves that they don't care about the programme, which suggests that they are feeling some guilt because the temptation to go back again is really strong, and they're really not seeing much point in staying sober anymore. So yeah, it's quite a sad one. It's quite a sad one. And then obviously the gunners have just come in and taken over the place for themselves. I think we can unlock this door. Nice. Yeah, so again there's another skeleton with some psycho nearby, and some jet, and a Coca-Cola truck, and a cage, as you do. Yeah, so that's the thing, a lot of people did, they just gave in right away and just grabbed the stuff and ran off to get high with it. It's pretty cruel, really. That's pretty cruel. Head back to the atrium. And I say there's a little bit downstairs here. I think this is mostly, yeah, storage, and then there's the reactor and some angry gunners, but we can ignore them. We can ignore them. But yeah, so they've obviously, the gunners have set this area up as a kind of living space for themselves. And yeah, and they seem to be maintaining it as well. Yeah, there's electricity arcing. And a pile of dead vault dwellers. They've obviously, they have been gone for quite a while, or they wouldn't have, they wouldn't be skeletons, but anyway. Oh. Bye. Where does this take us? Is this back where we were? Yep. Let's see what's in here. Got it. Oh. Vault-Tec scientist or doctor. But computer's not really functioning, so we can't really get any details about who this person was. They do have a stealth boy though, so that's interesting. Okay. And that brings us back to here. The gunners do like their creepy mannequins, that's for sure. Okay, and then the final section that we haven't explored yet is this. It's marked as facilities wing, but on the door it's marked as research. And we've got water fountain. Now you're dead. Bye. Yes, you are. So yep, here's a cafeteria. Again, fairly standard kind of vault cafeteria with, you know, tables flipped to be cover for a firefight. We've got another skeleton wearing a lab coat. Oh, technical documents. They're always useful. Yeah. Yep, so research, classroom and clinic in this direction. It's starting to collapse in some places. Okay, and somebody died after or while having a cup of tea. Kind of a shame. Right. Hi guys. Bye. Burnt book. Right, you guys should probably wear more than just clothes. I'm not trying to carry it. Okay. Quite a few microscopes in here which might come in handy. Right. Okay. Yeah, that's the other side to that blocked up section. So here's the clinic. Yep, and again another skeleton with some chems by their side. So we can see that, I don't know whether some people actually, you know, accidentally overdosed after being off them for so long or what happened, but yep, pretty sad. And then classroom or detox facility. So we can open the door. Okay, I'm just going to take down these gunners. The projector that's still running. Bottle cap mine. Another projector. And some more dead vault dwellers, sadly. Including one that's kind of on a gurney but clutching a bottle of whiskey. And then the clean room terminal. Initiate toxin purge. So that is for this room here, got blood packs and stuff as well. Yeah, so there's this chair here, which is part of this Vault's research about addiction. So they basically had a chair that provided some kind of treatment to really help people with chem addiction. So the purpose of this room is it's part of Kate's companion quest. So Kate's obviously a companion you pick up at the combat zone. And she's been using chems for a long time, and once you kind of get your affinity up with her, she talks to you about coming to this place because she wants to kind of get clean and get off chems. So she asks you to bring her here because she's heard that there's a good place, that this place has something that would really help her out. So you can come here and you can do that for her. So that's what this is for. So she would sit in the chair and then you activate the toxin purge, and that would help her deal with her own addiction problems, because it is something that is still even when the world ends, it's still going to be a problem for some people, unfortunately. And as I say, it's a kind of thing, people just assume that it's all just people that are criminals and that kind of thing, and it's bad people that are kind of getting into these situations and that are becoming addicted. But it can happen to anybody, and it's so insidious and sneaky, and getting through it and getting clean or becoming sober after something like that it's not as easy as some people seem to think it is. It's something that can be really, really difficult. There's setbacks, there's challenges, there's temptations. It's not something simple, and people that are struggling with these kinds of things, they absolutely deserve some empathy and consideration. It's not just as simple as you just put these people in jail for a few years and all the problems are going to go away. That's not how it works. But of course, Vault-Tec, big surprise, Vault-Tec are not the good guys. So, they basically put people through this whole process of rehab and getting them sober, basically kind of by force almost. The people weren't given a choice, and then temptation was thrown right in their face and to see what would happen. And unfortunately it didn't go well for anybody really. So the residents, some of them relapsed quickly, others hid and avoided the fighting and then ended up relapsing just because of the stress of the whole thing. So I guess that was what Vault-Tec were wanting to do, was to test the effectiveness of their rehab program and see how likely it was that somebody would relapse after completing the program or being in the program for a period of time. Unfortunately, as is often the case with these things, everybody ended up dead basically. Or almost everybody ends up dead, and then the gunners kind of moved in, at least until I came along and got rid of them. Bye. So yeah, that's Vault 95. So again, it's another one of these stories, and it's another one of these things where it sounds lovely, it sounds great, we're going to get these people that are struggling with addiction and we're going to help them and we're going to get them sober and get them back on their feet, and then we're going to let them have chems again and see what happens. And unfortunately everything kind of went to hell. So we've come to expect that from Vault-Tec at this point really, or at least if you've been watching this series from the start, I would hope that you're kind of expecting that kind of nonsense from Vault-Tec, that they just because they don't care that the vaults were never meant to save anyone. That was never really the point, at least in 99% of cases. the point of the vaults was to learn about human nature and to basically perform sort of psychological and social experiments as well as scientific experiments on people in a way that an ethics board wouldn't allow in the real world, but Vault-Tec could do it in their vaults because there was nobody to stop them really at that point, so they could just do whatever they want. And again, unfortunately, as with many of the vaults, the consequences are not great for the people that were living in the vault, and it ended badly. So that's Vault 95, quite a sad one, and I say I put a trigger warning at the beginning of this video, but if you are someone that struggles with addictions, or if you know someone that struggles with addictions, remember that support and care is what's needed, not punishment, and you're not alone, and there are people that can help, so just keep that in mind, and I'll see you next time. Bye.